Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe.
I offer my obeisances unto Lord Gaurachandra, who is surrounded by all of his associates, and whose body is studded with goose pimples of ecstasy that mock the beauty of blossoming kadamba flowers. He raises his arms repeatedly and loudly crying, Hari, Hari, as he dances and sings, showering the surface of the earth with cascades of tears. Comments. Sripad Prabodhananda Saraswati is the object of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's great mercy. So his mind and heart are always absorbed in the sweet pastimes, in the attributes and sentiments of Srimati Radharani in Raja Vrindavan. Now he begins his delicious books of eager prayer, named Radha, Rasa, Sudhanidhi. Out of compassion for the devotees who aspire for the confidential service of Srimati Radharani's lotus feet. In this first verse, he praises his worshipable deity, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Braja Bihari Shri Krishna.
One thing I want to say, praying to Chaitanya means Prabodhananda Saraswati is looking in Chaitanya Radhika, because Radhika is also golden body and Chaitanya is also golden. And in Chaitanya, inside is Krishna. Krishna desires one sign, that to relish the mood of Radhika. Then Radhika says, it's impossible to you that you can relish alone this mood. You will need me also. How you can relish alone? So, I will be always with you. And when you will come to the highest loving mood, then you will be in ecstasy. Then very difficult to control yourself. Then I will cover to you. If any pain in your body will come, that she will take. So Gauranga means Radhika covering. Mood of Radhika, Krishna took, and mood is Radhika, Krishna, and outside also covering is Radhika. We know this, that the shelter is the love and goal is the Lord. Right? We need the shelter of love to reach to the Lord. But here Krishna is showing that shelter is love and goal is also love. inside mood I took of Radhika, and I am always living in the loving exchange. I took the covering also, means goal is also my love. That is Chaitanya importance, Tattva of Chaitanya. So Prabodhananda Saraswati, when he see, then he see the golden color that remind him to Radhika in Chaitanya.
Raja Bihari, Sri Krishna, accepted the mood and complexion of Sri Radha.
Mood is inside, mood is always inside, and complexion is outside. So mood is also Radha mood, means Radha means loving mood. Loving mood is mood. Mood is always one that with love. And goal is to be in always love. Sambandha, avideha means to come out from your material body and identify your spiritual body is avideha. Every place that we are teaching in yoga also to come in avideha. Without this, there is no way. Sambandha also. We have a relation with this material body, you balance it and increase the real relation with the spiritual Savior. And prayojan is the goal. Goal is the love goal. That is prayojan, that is devotion.
Raja Bihari, Sri Krishna.
From distance, might not keep.
Yeah, it is blowing. Raja Bihari, Sri Krishna, accepted the mood and complexion of Sri Radha and became Gaura to fulfill 3 desires. To understand the greatness of Radha's love, that's the first one. The wonderful qualities that she alone relishes in him, that's the second desire he wants to taste. And the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love.
Again.
So Krishna had 3 desires. What he wants to really understand the deepness of Radha's love. First, her greatness. How big is her love? Second, the wonderful qualities that she alone relishes in him. And the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love.
Krishna.
Yes, that's a very deep. So Gurudev, I have one question. The wonderful qualities that she alone relishes in him. So there are qualities in Krishna that only Radhika can relish. And Krishna was wondering, what is this? It's very extraordinary. She can relish something in him that he cannot even know.
Yeah.
In Vrindavan Leela, Krishna was the witness of the sweetness of Sri Radha's love, of which he himself was the object. And in Gaura Leela, he accepted the mood and luster of Sri Radha to understand the gravity of her love.
That's the point. Understand. Again repeat that.
In Vrindavan Leela, Krishna was the witness of the sweetness of Sri Radha's love, of which he himself was the object. And in Gaura Leela, he accepted the mood and the luster of Sri Radha to understand the gravity of her love, the depth of her love.
Yeah.
In the opening verse of this book, Radha, Rasa, Sudhanidhi, Shripad Prabodhananda Saraswati draws a beautiful picture of how the full transcendental truth of Vrindavan, Shri Krishna, experienced the sweetness of Sri Radha's emotions. Here Shripad follows the custom in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition to praise Lord Gaura before continuing the description of Sri Radha Madhava's sweet pastimes. This is called Gaura Chandrika. In his book Sri Chaitanya Chandramrita, he writes, when a very fortunate soul experiences devotion for Lord Gaura's lotus feet, the nectar ocean from Sri Radha's lotus feet suddenly floods his heart. When a very fortunate soul experiences devotion for Lord Gaura's lotus feet, the nectar ocean from Sri Radha's lotus feet suddenly floods his heart. Shri Gaura Sundara has brought an unprecedented torch, light of Brajarasa, whose bright effulgence shows the devotees the way to the sweet bhajan of Sri Vrindavan, which is otherwise hard to see. And along with that sweet transcendental Brajarasa, Mahaprabhu introduced himself to the devotees of this world. Yadi Gaura no hoto, kimine hoito, kemoni dharitam de, Radhara mahima, prema rasa sima, jagate janato ke. If Gaura had not come, how would the world have been? Who would have taught the world the greatness of Radha and the limit of prema rasa? who would have shown the way to enter into the sweetness of Vrindavan? And the anxious mood of the young girls of Braja. The only way to extinguish the burning sensation of the threefold material misery caused by the elements, one's own body or mind, or by other creatures, with a nectar stream of love for Shri Radha Govinda is the mercy of Sriman Mahaprabhu. So this nectar stream of love can extinguish all the adhika bhautikas, these threefold material miseries. In this verse, Sripad Prabodhananda describes the sattvika ecstasies of Sri Gaura Sundara as he takes pleasure in performing kirtan.
And now kirtan, why? When they are together, then there are no need to talk and remember. But they feel when separation, then this vibration of separation is kirtan. Missing you, loudly singing, chanting is the meaning of I want to be with you close. I want to be close to you. That vibration, Maharaj say in the morning time, what you will think, it will happen to you. Swami Sivananda said like that. You think, one day you will become like that. So this is doing, I am thinking to do kirtan, remembering the name, because I have a relation with you, and by thinking and thinking, that effect comes inside. My life changed.
Srila Rupa Goswami defines these sattvika ecstasies as follows in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. When the heart is touched by emotions directly or indirectly related to Krishna, the wise call it sattva. And the emotions coming from that are called sattvika bhavs. The Lord had accepted the mood and the luster of Sri Radha and had become the main shelter for his own rati. Therefore, the sattvika and other bhavs had become fully manifest in him.
One day we are reading the Radhika name, one is Radhika. And is Kamadeva, because the control of Kama is Krishna. So his name is also Kama, Kama Gayatri. So Kama wants to, Krishna wants to take shelter of Rati, means Radhika. Read again.
The Lord had accepted the mood and luster of Sri Radha and had become the main shelter for his own rati.
You see. Shelter. Radhika is the shelter point, but today Krishna is the shelter
Of his rati.
of his rati. Kama took shelter to the rati. Rati is taking shelter of Kama. Means Krishna himself forget and he wants to take shelter of love and live in love. And or he says also goal is love. He is teaching, doing and teaching to the bhaktas devotion that we have to take shelter of love and practice to live in love. That is devotion. And always watchful. Rati also Sri Guru Charana Rati. When that Rati is desire for Gurudev, that Gurudev for a moment is not far from it. That is Sri Guru Charana Rati. That rati, today Krishna took shelter, means to create desire inside us. That prema.
And so all ecstasies arose in him. And all the sattvika and other bhavs had become fully manifest in him.
Because he forget himself that he is a Lord, he is a creator. He forget he took the shelter of prema. How he can take shelter if he is in his identification? He forget everything. Morning he is giving camp. Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna say, I will follow you, but I will kill no one. This is not a shelter, rati. You will follow me, then why you give condition that I will not kill anyone? It's not rati. Then Krishna think that now he need more preaching to clear his mind. He wants to follow me, but he don't want to kill, conditional. Wow.
Shripad sweetly describes how Sri Gauranga's body displayed the unrivaled ecstasies derived from relishing the sweetness of Radha's Rasa within himself by saying, his body was beautified by goose pimples that mocked freshly blossoming kadamba flowers. Mahaprabhu's body manifested Udikta Sattvika Bhavs. Srila Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, when 5 or 6 Sattvika ecstasy simultaneously arise to the greatest extent, then they are called Udipta.
Udipan.
No, Udipta, Gurdev. Udipta. Udipan is not it.
Okay.
So this Gurdev, when he says that, it's like, usually we have one feeling, one predominant feeling in our experience, but it's like 5 or 6 ecstasies come simultaneously. So then this madness of rasa, of dancing, crying, all these different emotions.
Ras Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Leela Madhuri. These are the different rasa, always juicy. Venu, flute, always sweetless. Leela, always my mind go in the past time, but we have to put our mind in Nitya, what is happening, that also past time. But this past time is a divine. Ras Madhuri, you remember? Leela Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Rupa Madhuri. And the beautiful sweetness, charming. And what?
Leela Madhuri?
Dham Madhuri. Dham Madhuri, the place which happens. This 5 Madhuri is one place come, then is happening.
Oh.
You are in the dham and you are sitting with Rasik, or you want to be also to test the Rasa. Benu, you like to only listen the flute. That is a nada. What is nada? That is Benu nada. From the neighbors come. When the Krishna play the flute, it goes and it comes from like inside. Anahat. Venu Madhuri, Leela Madhuri. The pastime, what sweet pastime. Why we listen? That this will keep always connected. These rasas together, then what will happen? Dham, you are living in the dham. Rupa Madhuri. Form. All become together. Then it gives more. What is the word?
They are called Udipta.
Udipta. Then what happened? Without doing nothing, Uddipan means start coming some waves of realization. You don't need to do. All in scripture there is Uddipta, Uddipan.
Come by themselves or realization.
Automatic floating like a waves. And you start living in that way. and it comes from here. That becomes another non-stop movement. What is happening non-stop inside to you, that's another dipta. New and new varieties start floating.
And then he lifts his arms and loudly chants, Hari, Hari.
Now you become little crazy. Hari, sometime, oh my dear, oh sweetheart, oh darling. And he can be a crazy, anything can say. When he feels connection, he becomes little flow in that. Others think that he's a little pagal, drunk.
Drunken.
Yes, drunk, divine. Divine, not wine.
This is an anubhav called kroshana. Activities that...
You see, what you said, the word? Uddipan is anubhav. Anubhav means realization. What I never know is happening. Uddipta. Oh, surprise. Uddipta. Lightning inside. Anubhav. Hindi is anubhav. English realizations. Enlightenment. And it's not like this. It goes like a waves. Once goes, again other coming, third coming. It's like that, waves are there. But when five rasa is always practiced in one together, simultaneously.
It's quite intense.
Huh?
Then it's quite
it becomes really intense. That if I want to come to calculate conditional things, it's open. Remove automatic in one waves, it's all clear. There's no need to effort for that. Like some flooded come, then in a second is flood. You don't see how to calculate and manage yourself, your things. Is a flood. Done. Over. Yeah. Go on.
Activities that awaken certain moods in the heart are called anubhav.
Realization. Anubhav means realization. Mood come in my heart. Means my relation with you. This mood is so intense that his mood will come. Without relation, mood cannot flow. This relation keeps always to flow. And this is divine mood, not relation. Material relation mood is more. But why material relation is there? To experience what is the highest mood, where there is no privacy, no personal thing. All moods are, but mother, half of his body, no keep privacy from the son. And lovers never give any keep privacy from his beloved. Means no any covering, no hiding anything. And if he is hiding, then it is not conjugal love. So it has to be very, very uncovered with my conditions, with my false ego, with my body identification, with others controlled by senses. We have to be uncovered with that. They covered us. Today, 12, 13, 14, what is this? These are the covering. We want to be in that covering of ambiness, unbalance, like this. This automatic will be clear. When this flow will come, you are free from the others covering. That realization will enlighten you so much. It's so divine waves. No time to calculate to save your material thing, to keep in the high place or being removed from there. Your all material collection will, what you say? Overflooded with that.
So good if we can say also that to a certain extent we can try to practice anatta nivritti, but actually when the divine flood comes, overflooding the heart, then it's actually the moment when it's like...
Anartha nivritti good to practice, but it's never nivrit anartha.
Never nivrit, yes.
Because we are living in this conditional condition, body. Anartha is because of this my material plastic body. And when you escape from here, you create new identity for that. Like this, two phones. I say, this is my Annamaya Kosh and this is my Anandamaya Kosh, in between other. And this is, when I go, Anartha is here now. But I am here, then where is Anartha? It's automatic gone. Anartha can affect up to here, because it's covered with the condition. Anartha is nivritta when we are in Anandamaya Kosh. Nivritta. What to nivritta? Here?
That's the goal of sadhana.
That is the mercy of Guru. That my anartha is become nivritta now. So I am start living here. Maybe I am not living permanently here. I am visiting here. But this is also mercy that I start visiting, and the moment will come that if I will like to live here, then I will less going here. To use this thing, not I am living here now, I start living here. But visiting also is very helpful to decide where to live. Right or right? And this is sadhu sangha. Without association of the person who is living here, it's not possible. Who lives with the Anandamaya course, that is Sajatiya sign. That is Sajatiya sign. That you understand. Externally circumstances, not seeing, no need to see that. Inner circumstances. Radha. Is okay, Maharaj?
When Rati is relished within the heart, it will be externally manifest.
Rati. In this, what I show you, the white word, where Rati will come. Not Rati, not in this black one. It should be in the white one, Rati should come. In Anandamaya Kosh, that is the meaning of Rati. Here, we learn Rati is something existing, but Rati is coming when I stay in Anandamaya Kosh. Then Rati starts. That Rati is Radhika. To bring you in this Rati, and that karma is a real karma. Moving for the goal of living in the Rati, in that Rasa, without Rati in this living, Anandamaya course, you cannot stay there.
And not come there.
Then you will come immediately here because Rati is here. So you have to develop Rati there, and this is the mercy when Rati come for living there. So, name of Rati is also Radha. That Rati comes in my life to live in my real identification. Unconditional. Then this Rati is a very tasteful. Very tasteful. And slowly when the Rati will grow here, to live here, then my desire will not there. We can go to see that, but I start living. That become Paramahansa stage. That become Rasika stage. Rasikas are who has the Rati to live in divine, they are Rasikas. They are sadhus, they are Mahatma, saintly person. That association we require if any place is unknown. Am I right?
The echo of Mahaprabhu's loud chanting of Harinam immersed all the moving and non-moving creatures in the taste of love of Krishna.
What is this? Read one line. Chanting. What is this? It's a vibration. Vibration. It's a so high vibration. It's so high vibration of the name or to the positiveness that you don't want to go from that area. And when you have to go out from that circle, You don't like that. This is all vibration. Mahaprabhu, what is the line?
The echo
Echo, that vibration echo.
of Mahaprabhu's loud chanting.
That is, he's chanting, but he's giving echo, vibration.
Permeating.
Yeah.
It's like
Why vibration? Why vibration? Because this is the vibration of love. What is there, it comes in the words. It comes with the all core of the body start vibrating. Not only from mouth coming, all the core is vibrating now. And what vibrating? Only positive, and that positiveness is loving positive. Huh? And that you want, there are some work you avoid to do because you don't want to go from that vibration. You feel different. It's a magnet. And slowly, if you start living in that vibration, it affects us. Slowly, when the negativeness go and some positive vibration we receive, we also start vibrating. And it helps to others. This becomes like a chain of the vibration. See positive, vibrate positive with love. Always in negative also they start looking positive. That all depends because of that vibration. In is love and out is love. Living in love, that vibration goes out. You see, the Almighty God wants to take shelter of love and to make the goal of love. Why He do this? To teach us, to the living soul, if they will do this, they have no conflict. This vibration will change all creation. If I can change, why not you can change? When I can feel vibration, when I am totally covered with negative vibration, why not you? This vibration will change everything. What is impossible, it becomes possible. Not imagine that the normal human can do this, that Shakti empowered, come from empowered to that person to do that because of the vibration. And that person who relished this vibration, he never disconnected with the vibration. Always connection is there, and every moment he is a student to receive that vibration. although he become very big guru, but if he is guru and he disconnect with the vibration, he is only false guru. The real guru is always learning and listening that vibration and connected with that vibration. That is Guru Kripa.
Srila Haridas Thakur.
Read this one.
When Rati,
Mahaprabhu,
the echo of Mahaprabhu's loud chanting of Harinam immersed all the moving and non-moving creatures in the taste of love of Krishna. Srila Haridas Thakur revealed the secret of the loud chanting of Harinam. All the moving and non-moving creatures have heard your loud chanting. Hearing it, all the moving creatures were liberated from material existence.
This is happening. Every place.
And after the non-moving creatures hear it, there is an echo.
Non-moving also. Moving is naturally changed, but non-moving will also change. You go to any ashram, if they are really in the vibration, everything you will see is the perfect, non-moving thing. Why? Because Nitai is every non-moving. Nitai means Guru is everywhere, living and non-living. Nitai, who is living in a Nitya Ananda, always in ecstasy. And he is giving her waves of ecstasy. And the divine soul who lives there, they feel like this and their life is changed. Yes.
Is this the right understanding, Gurudev, that I do my sadhana and follow everything, but it is only a preparation to get Guru Kripa, isn't it?
Right.
It is not
Externally. Externally. When they go to the yoga center, first they send to the teachers, right? And the teacher make him to pure in the sadhana to fix yourself, first balance yourself. Right? Sadhana is just to fix ourselves.
But it's not the goal.
This is not.
It's the way.
This is the one process of the preparatory school.
Yeah.
To prepare myself. And I don't want to go higher than I want to stay in the preparation only. Is also good, not bad. But we have to progress. Right? You said the plants and creepers feel this vibration. I experience myself here, 10, 15 years I try to make the grass and the green something in the front of Radha Mohan, but I cannot do. Many monkeys, many this. But slowly, the vibration change everything. And now you can see someplace green also. So everything is changing. The non-living entity starts changing. And that to learn that how to care to the non-living and living entity with love and care. Then I start vibrating something. If not, then it's very basic.
Isn't it? And this means also that I can realize then that the Guru principle is more and more important for me. I realize this.
There are, if you go to the yoga center, there are many teachers, right? He is not only teaching there, but some are teachers and some are realized there.
Yeah.
One time, one sadhu come to Vrindavan. He meet with his guru. He said, Gurudev, I earn good money with business. I want to feed brahmanas. Can you organize? So Brahman Seva is one of the best Seva. He said, yes, very good. How much you want to expend, what you want to do? Give your blueprint. He said, why you want to waste so much money? If you want to feed Brahmana so much, you invite one Vaishnava. It will be parallel of 100 Brahmanas. One Vaishnava, real Vaishnava, if you feed nicely, it will be calculated with 100 Brahmanas. He said, can you invite 100 Vaishnavas? I will expend double money for that. You say, yes, you can do this. Then why not you arrange one Rasika Vaishnava? One Rasika Vaishnava, if you satisfy that you give service to him, it will be more of 100 Vaishnava taking. Then say, Gurudev, you can arrange. And take the Rasik Vaishnava, what I earn, I will want to expend for that. Then his tears were in eyes. It's not possible. Rare to find Rasik Vaishnava. Realized soul, divine person, who is Paramahansa, living, but he is detached with everything. It's rare to find like that. One, if you get, is a lion. Go to the forest, one lion you will see. So some place rare to find one Rasik. Rasik means realize Paramhansa. Paramhansa. He only milk and water you mix up, but he will take only milk from and he will leave the water. They are Paramhansas. They have no business to use the water. They know how to take out the milk from the water. and you will see near to the Paramhansa many water, many material things, but they only take the milk from that. Radha. Oh, sorry, next time, come early, but if we not reach to the Radha, she's a very beautiful Radha Rasa. It's just a preparation to enter there. Yeah, give mic to me. Excuse my any mistakes. I know you.
What would you like me to say?
What do you say? About Radhika, about love.
About Radhika, about love, I only need to see you, and then I know.
What do you like to say?
That is love. There was this question regarding Guru Kripa, and there was you all know Paramahamsa Yogananda. He was once asked how you realize God, and he said, well, it's 1/3 self-effort, 1/3 grace of the Guru, and 1/3 grace of God. So I had read that. I went to Swami Vishnudevananda and I asked him, would you also say it is like that? And Swami Vishnudevananda said, no, not at all. He said it's 100% self-effort, 100% grace of the Guru, and 100% grace of God. Of course, it's mathematically impossible, but what it means, one has to practice 100% oneself. So not think, well, it's God's grace, so I'll practice a little bit. But you have to practice wholeheartedly. At the same time, without the grace of God, nothing is achieved. But still you practice 100%. And then you trust the grace of God and the grace of the Guru. Without this grace, nothing is possible. And of course, practice, there are so many ways of practicing, right? Reading Shri Shri Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi. You see my ignorance on these very important.
No, you can read it even upside down. This is amazing.
I try at least. So reading and then being like intoxicated by what you read, and even going to the presence of a teacher is also a kind of sadhana you do. You have to do effort to go there, and then sometimes you go there and you feel, I remember when I went to my Guru Swami Vishnudevananda, many times I went. Sometimes in between I was thinking, why did I go the long way? I could have just practiced. I was in a yoga center. And I went there. And then jet lagged and everything. Yeah. But then suddenly a little... Something little happens and everything changes. And that's what we can always learn, and we can always experience. So we have to do some effort. And then sometimes, when there's one disciple of Swami Shivananda called Swami Venkateshananda, who wrote beautiful books which inspired me a lot, and also gave me an understanding of Swami Shivananda. And he once said, the scriptures, like the Bhagavad Gita, like the 12th chapter which I read this morning, and one reason why they put these there are two reasons why they put these high ideals which we have to live. First is, so we make 100% effort, and second is, we end up complete failures. And then once we're so far, that then we're ready for surrender. And then the grace will come. And I assume that's also with the Radha Bhakti. It doesn't come just like that. One reads, one chants, sometimes you feel very... Some of you have been on the path for several dozens of years, I guess you understand all that. Sometimes one has done so much, and then one asks, where is God? A year ago I felt Him, and now I'm left without. How can I live? And that's also we can learn from the Leela of Krishna and the gopis. Sometimes Krishna is away and the gopis are desperate. Where's Krishna? And then they see again Krishna and they are so happy and so full of love, and Krishna is away again. And so in that way, and there's one story when at some point the gopi said, well, Krishna is only with me. And the next moment, Krishna was away, with one exception, that was Radha. She never thought Krishna is only with me. She didn't have that sense of me. Of course, how could she, as she's the highest truth? But so when we suddenly think, I've reached it, now I'm so full of love, just a few more instances, that God has to push me a little more, and then suddenly He's away. And so that's also Leela, which is happening. But with time, hopefully, we'll feel that we have the sadhana practice, which is regular, and which will even continue if sometimes there are times where not much
dryness.
There's dryness, and especially on the kind of path I'm going with, where we practice asana and pranayama and meditation, and there might be some sickness. You can't practice that anymore. It's the advantage of then you only have bhakti, then you have and you can say mantra. That you can always do. But still the vibration goes down, and then you think, where's God? And then the more intense love is there again. And so, but in the end you have the sadhana practice, the regularity, and you have the faith that the grace of God and the grace of Guru will always be there. And then it's some, how would you say, we have the deep inner feeling in the, we could say Anandamaya Kosha, which is always there, even though the physical body or the emotional sheath they fluctuate, and even though not always the Anandamaya Kosha, Rasa, penetrates everything, but it remains there. And what I could see with my Guru Swami Vishnudevananda, he had in his last 2 years of life, he was that great Guru who had gone to all the asanas and all the pranayama, and he could sit for meditation completely without moving for hours. I've seen him once, and he was sitting there for hours, breath completely quiet, and he had a very powerful and strong mind. But then in his last 2 years he developed some severe diseases, several car accidents and others. And then in the end he was just a pure bhakta. So he got, like, you read the scripture here, he had somebody read the Bhagavatam, and he just listened to 1 or 2 verses, and then tears came out of his eyes. So you could say after all this practice, the bhakti was so intense, that stayed whatever happens to the body. And that's how we could see. This morning somebody said, if knowledge ends, love begins. Even though I said we shouldn't wait that long. But in the end, love is what can stay always.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
More say. You see.
Questions?
I have a question. Can you please explain your attitude on Ahimsa and Ishvara Pranidhana as basis of yoga? I would say that without Ahimsa and Ishvara Pranidhana there is no yoga.
Yes, like in the Yoga Sutra.
What is the mic? Give mic.
So she asked about Ahimsa and Ishvara Pranidhana as these are the 2 basics of yoga. Like we have the 5 yamas, we have the 5 niyamas, and the yamas start with Ahimsa and the niyamas end with Ishvara Pranidhana. So you could say that is the basics of yoga. And of course, Patanjali puts the basic ethics, Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, which is something we have to, on one hand side, we have to develop, on the other hand side, it also can flourish with grace. Ahimsa, one aspect of Ahimsa is the determination that you don't want to hurt any being. And the second part, actually Patanjali mentions far more often the expression Maitri Bhava. Yeah. Ahimsa he only mentions, I think, in one place, and that's very known, non-violence. But he mentions far more frequently Maitri Bhava, which means loving kindness. So on one hand side, it's important to say I refrain from acts of violence. And of course, first of all, physical violence, and then mental violence, and of course with speech. So it's also called a vrata. You make that resolution. You say, I want not to hurt any living creature as far as possible. It's not possible 100%, so somebody says it's to do with the least suffering possible. Because already when we breathe, we destroy some microorganisms. And when we walk on the street, and so on. So ahimsa means we try to do as little violence as possible, and it has to be, of course, with this maitri bhava, this kindness towards everybody, loving kindness to whoever we are with. As this morning I said, first of all, we can be loving to those who are loving to us, then we can be loving to all those who we don't really know, but with whom we have daily relationship, and then comes the royal discipline, being kind even with those who oppose what we're doing. So these are several aspects of ahimsa. And of course, out of ahimsa comes also vegetarianism. Out of ahimsa comes so much what we do. And then Ishvara Pranidhana, complete surrender to God. So I think I don't need to talk too much about this place of Ishvara Pranidhana. Well, this is practice one more. Ishvari, Ishvara, both are one. So that is the place where you practice that from morning till night, from night till morning. You live, the whole atmosphere is imbibed with it. So that's something very important. Other questions?
I can ask another question. When we speak about ahimsa, and it's very often referred as ahimsa towards externally towards others, but what about ahimsa towards ourselves? Because to me it seems this is the base. If we are not able to give love and kindness to our own soul, for our own self, then how can we give to others? And how develop this and how to pray for this?
So how to be ahimsa with oneself, how to have loving kindness to oneself. It seems a question which becomes more and more important in modern aspirants. I remember 35 years ago it was rarely a question, but today it's more and more a question. And first of all, when we practice Hatha Yoga, it's clear, we do something good for our body. If we do something good for our body, then we can do something else for the others. Or yesterday, Guru Maharaj asked me to speak about the 5 koshas. So we can say in taking care of our koshas, we can also are able to feel more the divine. I personally, and you see I'm rumbling a little bit, I personally have a little bit problems with this theme of doing something good to yourself. It's then the question, who am I? And am I this body? I'm not this body. But this body is a gift of Radha, of Krishna, of the divine, so I take care of this body. I want to be nice to this body, but at the same time the body is an instrument for spiritual practices. And the same, my emotions, am I the emotions? I would say, no, I'm not the emotions. But I have to be nice to my emotions. So I have to deal with those. And if you get a gift from somebody you love, and then afterwards you don't treat the gift nicely, it's also not nice. So God has given us this mind also, and these emotions. And so we have that, and we have it here as an instrument to do divine service. Of course we could say, I got the wrong mind, and I have bad qualities, and so on. Of course, people would say, I hate myself, so I have to learn to love myself. And of course I could say I can love myself to a certain degree, but we can say, it's a gift of the divine, and I use it to the best possible. And sometimes I also have to learn what I have is what I can do, and that's what is important. I remember, and sometimes to be able to, maybe it's, today we're used in a society where everybody tries to be better than others. Like now there are the Olympics. Probably you don't know much about the Olympics, me neither. But the main thing about the Olympics is everybody loses except one person. So you have thousands and hundreds who try. Or you go to school and you are who is the best. Then you get marks, competition, which is not the normal thing in human beings. And so we're used to competition and trying to be the best, and then we're not happy with our body and our mind. And then sometimes the problem is when we do spiritual practices and we read the higher ideas, then we feel like failures as we can't follow them. But that's when we say, when we can say, we have this body, we have this mind, we have these emotions. God brought us into this world with this body and with this mind and these emotions because that's the right part in this karma. I work on it also. Like when you get a nice plant, you take care of it and it will grow. And the same way, we got nice plant, this body and mind, and we grow. And if we say, well, this flower is red, I would have like a yellow flower, will not help us. But if we have the red flower, then we can take care of the red flower and it will blossom. The same, we take care of our body, we take care of our emotion and our mind. We learn to cherish the talents we bring with, and we use them for the good. And of course, at the same time, we see others, and they are also blossoming. And so there are some who do wonderful Shiva puja, and there are some who chant extremely well, and others. But if only one is chanting, it's also not nice. So it's important everybody chants. And just doing puja every day on your own is also not nice. It's nice that others come also, even though they do not do the puja as well. And so in that way, we all have certain talents, which, like Radha, literally also means wealth and splendor and beauty, and basically Radha, the Sanskrit terms, all the wonderful things. So we all have parts of that in us, and some parts are highly developed and others are little bit developed. But all together it's part of it, and we can be loving with all that what we brought with us, and we can try to unfold it and be as good as we can. I remember there was once I had two experiences with two teachers of mine. One was my first yoga teacher, and at some point she asked me to teach my first meditation course. I was just 19 years old. I had just meditated for 3 or 4 years, and then she asked me I should teach a meditation course because somebody else was supposed to teach it and this person couldn't teach it. And I said, well, I'm not ready for it. And I saw the list of the participants, some of them the double age of mine and some were new more. And I said, I can't teach that. And then she just looked at me and she said, well, if Gurudev, that was Swami Shivananda, if Gurudev had wanted somebody more knowledgeable than you to teach these people, he would have found somebody else. He only found you. And you're the right person to give the right lessons. And in the end, that's what we always feel. We have what we need to give what is supposed to be given. And then we have to say we are the instruments of God. Or another instance like that was with Swami Vishnudevananda, that 1 year I was in the main ashram in Canada, and I was just there to translate into German. So I was ready to translate, and I was happy being with Swami Vishnu, listening to his talks and to others. But then Swami Vishnu didn't give that many talks, and then Swami Vishnu asked me to teach the German group asana classes, the Hatha yoga techniques, and teach the Bhagavad Gita also. And then I was shaken because I didn't have that experience to start to teach a yoga teacher's training course. I was 20, now I got age. Again, they were half age of the others. Then Swamiji looked at me very, very kindly, shook his head a little bit and said, "You don't need to teach the German group." I said, "Thank you." And I said, "You just need to give your body and your mind. Gurudev will teach." And then he looked stern into me and he said, "And never think you'll ever be ready to teach. Whenever you think you're ready, then you lost it." So these are words which stuck with me. That way, we can be sure we have the qualities we need to serve God. And God will work, Radha will work, Krishna will work through us, or Gurudev will work through us. And then we can be, and we have to take care of that, of what we got, of our talents, of our body, of our mind, and at the same time work on it. And then bit by bit, we go, body and mind will be completely transparent, and then there's no more the question, should we love ourselves or not, and how can we, because we know in the soul we're united with Radha and Krishna, and our love to Radha and Krishna will basically not need any question how to be ahimsa towards ourselves. It's become Ishvara Pranidhan and ahimsa, inside, outside, no more difference.
Actually, a divine speaker is also listening.
Yes, the divine speaker is listening. He speaks and he listens.
Next time when you make program, we request that make it a long time.
Your program for India.
Yeah. For Vrindavan, in Vrindavan.
This actually was asked to me today, like how to increase always this feeling inside. If one feels it a little bit, how to keep doing this?
It's one of the most important questions. How can we increase that feeling? How can we increase that love? And maybe you should ask Gurudev another time, as he's definitely the expert on love and feeling. In even the love and the feeling we have, to a certain degree it's also divine grace. We can only do certain things for it, and then we have to pray for it. So to a certain degree, whatever we do in Bhakti Yoga is all there to increase that feeling. And we chant, do puja, do seva, do reading the scripture, reading about the great saints, being in the presence of the saints. All that is there to increase the feeling. That's why there are bhakti practices. We cannot say that God needs our service and our chanting, but if we do it, it opens us and creates a certain feeling. But only up to a certain degree. And the problem, of course, with all the practices is, after a while, they can become mechanical also. And I remember when first time I heard kirtan, it struck my heart so intensely. Actually, I came onto the yoga path by hearing some kirtan. I had meditated in another tradition, and then I felt, and I just went out of curiosity to some yoga talk. And then at the end of the talk, they chanted half an hour. It wasn't the Maha Mantra, it was Om Namah Shivaya, but it was for half an hour, and that feeling was so strong. And many of you know, maybe it wasn't the first time, sometimes it was the first time, sometimes. And then you keep chanting, and sometimes it's not the same feeling. But we can try to be full with our heart and with our soul, at least with our awareness, be with it. And when we chant, we can chant as completely as we can, with full concentration. Or if we're on the puja, we can do it as much concentrated as possible. Sometimes we can ask ourselves, how can I do it with full concentration and love? Because sometimes it's the easiest to just sit quiet. Sometimes it's the best to dance. Sometimes it's best to keep the hands up. Sometimes it's the best to clap. And sometimes we used to sit quietly all the time, and it was such a great experience. Maybe we have to change a little bit. And so we can ask ourselves, how can I do it with more heart? And then feeling with it. And sometimes we just have to remind ourselves to put more heart into it again. And then again, those of you who are there for dozens of years, more, unless you're a complete self-realized saint, there are periods where you just have to continue doing it, even if the love is not there so much. And then you keep doing it, and then you try to put your love with it again. And then maybe the best way is you complain to God. And cry for God. And say, God, where are you? And sometimes it's good. Not the Bhagavad Gita, I don't know whether it's also in this Bhagavad Gita, but the Bhagavad Gita of Swami Shivananda, every chapter has a name. And the first chapter is called The Yoga of the Despondency of Arjuna. I find that an incredibly beautiful name, The Yoga of Despondency of Arjuna. This means whenever you're desperate at some point, don't say I'm desperate, say I'm practicing the yoga of desperation.
Then it's all connected.
And then when you practice that yoga of desperation, then the love comes again. Because what Arjuna does then with his desperation, he puts it to Krishna. And in that way, if sometimes love is not there, maybe at least desperation can be there. And out of desperation comes love. But if a little love is there, then putting all the love into the spiritual practices, and then out of these, more love comes. And otherwise, being in the presence of a guru, it's always the easiest way to get more love.
I heard also that to Swami Shivananda, Krishna also once appeared. Do you know something about it? And then I heard that he also changed after this experience. Can you say something about that?
Yes. 2 days, the day before yesterday, I mentioned it a little bit. Swami Shivananda comes from a Shaiva family, but his Ishta Devata was actually Krishna. So at some point in his life, he already got that connection to Krishna. And then when he he was a medical doctor, and he practiced already from childhood, as he learned from his father, and puja and so on, and he learned hatha yoga as an adolescent. He learned kirtan and meditation, so he was practicing basically from childhood and adolescence onwards. And then the yearning for realization became very strong, so he left the medical practice, went to Rishikesh, to the Himalaya, practiced there very intensely and thought, well, I'm going to lead a retired life. So he had 1 hour of darshan for sadhakas, and he had 1 hour of medical services, as there was no other medical doctors. Had 2 hours per day for this service, 1 hour for the sadhakas, 1 hour for patients, and otherwise I'll just meditate and do sadhana. And then he had a vision of Krishna, and Krishna appeared to him. Of course, we don't know how it really was. He was asked a few times, and in some poem he wrote it. He said, Krishna appeared to me and said, I filled the cup of your life with the nectar of the divine name. Go and share it with everybody, and I will replenish your cup forever. And then Swami Shivananda changed, and before he had not accepted disciples, before he was retired, and then suddenly he accepted disciples, and he started writing books, and he went on tour, and he was chanting and teaching, and then ashram grew around him. So basically, it's the vision of Krishna which was behind all the teachings of Swami Shivananda. And also my guru, Swami Vishnudevananda, he also comes from a Shaiva family, South India, but he also got attracted towards Krishna, and on his altar always there was a Krishna Murti. Even when he was traveling, wherever he went, he put the picture of his master and of the Murti of Krishna, and then first the light was waved and incense was burned in front of Krishna, and then in a few seconds any hotel room became a meditation room, a temple. In a few seconds there was the spiritual vibration there.
So nice to hear this experience from so different kinds of persons, and then it is no question, is the soul now individual, or do we have every person has an individual exchange? It's no question. So wonderful to hear, isn't it? So it's completely different experience actually also, no? And I like this so much. I like to be individual. I like to put whatever I have, I got in the service. So satisfying, isn't it? So nice. So encouraging, isn't it?
Yes, we all have what we need to serve, and it's important to whatever we have to serve.
Yeah, and it is also always a way to this goal, even by Swami Shivananda, he liked to retire.
Yes.
This was his plan, isn't it? No? Then
for a while it was good like that. And then Krishna had other plans.
Prabhupada also. Retired.
Yeah.
In 65 he went there.
And at 70 he went to America. That's always my hope. Oh, when I'm 70 then.
In the end, there's a deep desire of the soul to realize, and always we think something more is waiting for us. And that's what is true.
Yeah.
Always a new chapter can open.
Yeah.
So we can be happy with the gifts that God gave us. But there are more gifts in us than we know so far. And it's also important. One is to accept the goals you have, other talents, faculties. But sometimes I see people who restrict themselves and say, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. And so we have talents, and then, like Prabhupada in age 70 somehow got the inspiration, and nobody would have known that he can do all that. And also Swami Shivananda the same. And everybody of you has already seen you were able to do things you would not have thought before. So there's more in store for all of us.
And this means also to develop detachment to all the gifts what we already got.
Yes, that's also important. We appreciate them, and then we have to have detachment also. Yes.
Yeah.
Because something else will come.
Yeah.
As you've experienced. Somebody important in the ISKCON movement, huh?
Yeah, it was not so easy for me to give it up. Now I realize it was mercy.
Yes.
It was a real mercy. But
and you develop new talents. Yes, definitely.
We will see. It's also so nice. I'm really inspired to see all centers from Yoga Vidya. Oh, here and here and here. Wow! No? Isn't it? So this is also Beweis. Evidence for detachment. From a divine guidance. And so many people are looking for guidance, isn't it?
So the message is spreading through so many different ways. Huh?
Yeah.
It's also wonderful that so many from all over the world come here and from many different traditions and can unite here, exchange, get imbibed with divine love and then spreading it.
Yeah.
Look at it. So important also. And it's important that we all feel connected. That's something so important. Even with connected with those who don't feel connected.
Yeah.
It's not helpful to say, well, they should feel more connected. We can, we don't need to wait until others are, when you try to make connection, the ideal thing is one goes to the other and the other also gives their hand. But when you see some trees in India, the banyan tree doesn't wait until the earth comes up, but it takes the roots down and connects to the earth on different parts. And the same way we can all connect and feel connected, even though others don't feel connected and think my path is the only and the best and everybody else is a little lower. Doesn't matter. so many do good service, and sometimes if many connect, then more and more will feel connected. So I'm convinced if we manage, first of all among the spiritual seekers of the different traditions, to feel connected, and then even though so many things happen in the material world, but if from the spiritual point of view we feel connected and we do our selfless service and we try to inspire, then we can change the energy field of the earth. Maybe not we can change, but we can be the instrument that the divine can change the energy field of the earth. And so we might see something important happen in the next 20, 30 years. We will definitely see it happen, because either it will go, science will create crazy things on this planet, or the climate will get crazy, or we'll manage to see a collective awakening. Or maybe all three parallel.
Radhe Radhe Go